Picture this. You wake to the muffled groan of wooden beams flexing above you. The air smells of sweat, straw, and iron. You are flat on your back, your shoulder pressed against the rough skin of another body. No room to roll, no comfort. Tepid, stuffy, cramped. It's another day in the life of a Roman gladiator in training. Congratulations, you've survived the night. For now. Spoiler, not everyone here will make it through the season. Congratulations again. For the moment, you're among the lucky few. You shift. A fine grit of sand is caked under your tunic. You can hear the metallic clank of chains a few beds away. Someone restless, someone dreaming of escape. The lanista, your manager, your owner, has not stirred yet. Good. That gives you a moment to gather yourself, such as you can. You stare at the warped beams above and think, why does anyone want to be a gladiator? Answer, they don't. The poets and senators and marble-browed patricians will write of honor, spectacle, glory. The reality, blood, infection. Sand in places sand should not be. Your stomach growls, a dull, sour hunger. No surprise there. Rations are thin, even for those expected to fight for their lives. And you will fight. Not just today, but again and again. Until the crowd loves you, or until they don't. And in this business, the line between applause and death is very thin. You flex your fingers, the knuckles crack, the bruises on your ribs throb gently with each breath. Another day, another chance to live. But first, you must rise. And so begins our little journey. A long, winding walk through the less than glorious details of life as a Roman gladiator, and beyond. You may not like all you hear. You may find some things uncomfortable. But lean back, breathe. Let your eyes grow heavy, because tonight we'll walk through history, one gritty step at a time. Picture this. A sliver of light creeps through a crack in the heavy wooden shutters. It's weak, but enough to sting your eyes as you blink awake. You shift beneath the thin woolen blanket, rough against your skin. It's always rough. You're lying on a crude wooden pallet stuffed with straw. The straw is old, flattened by too many nights. It smells faintly of mildew and something worse. Don't ask what. Your neck itches. Lice, of course, again. Tepid air, sticky skin, persistent itching. Your cellmates stir. Some grumble, others sigh. One curses softly in Greek. Above you, the ceiling beams groan as the building settles in the morning warmth. The scent of iron is stronger now. The forge must be lit already. Someone's foot brushes your calf. You flinch. No one apologizes. Courtesy isn't high on the list in the Ludus dormitory. You sit up slowly. Each movement reminds you of yesterday's bruises. A deep ache in your left shoulder. Ribs sore from the practice sword. Your mouth is dry. Very dry. Outside, a rooster crows. Annoying bird. There are no dawns worth celebrating here. You glance at the doorway. No sign of the lanista yet, but his guards, lean, mean men with polished spears, are already posted outside. One of them scratches his chin and smirks at you through the doorway. You look away. Best not to invite trouble this early. You stand. The floor is cold stone. Your feet are bare. Sandals are for later, if you earn them. No privacy, no comfort, no mercy. A scrawny youth beside you groans and stretches. His name you don't know. He arrived 2 days ago, eyes still wide with fear. Chances are he won't last long. Across the room, an older man sharpens a dagger with slow, deliberate strokes. His face is scarred, his eyes unreadable. You nod once. He ignores you. Around you, the air is thick with sweat and the faint metallic tang of blood. You breathe it in. No choice. A heavy thud outside signals the start of the day. The lanista will come soon, with orders, with expectations. You glance at the cracked water jug in the corner, half empty. But first, you scratch the itch behind your ear. Lice again. You sigh. Welcome to the world of the Roman gladiator, where survival is the first battle of the day, and the easiest one, and now the heavy door creaks open. Picture this. You shuffle forward as the door swings wide. The guard gestures with his spear, no words needed. You file out with the others into the training yard. The morning air hits you. Not fresh, dusty, dry, with the faint smell of horse manure from the nearby stables. But it's cooler than the dormitory. For now. Cool breath. Rough sunlight. Sharp smells. You glance up. The sky is pale, cloudless. The promise of heat to come. In Rome, summers are brutal. In the stone belly of the ludus, they are worse. The walls of your dwelling are thick stone, good for keeping out the wind in winter, but in summer, they trap the heat. By midday, the air inside is like a kiln, and the roof, clay tiles patched with tar. Birds nest under them. You hear their scratching sometimes as you try to sleep. Your living quarters are not spacious. A single large room with pallets crammed together. One cracked window, one door, no lock, no privacy. Your personal space is the width of your shoulders, maybe less. The straw in your bedding, changed once a month if you're lucky. If not, well, lice aren't picky. Parasites are a fact of life here. Lice, fleas, the occasional bedbug. You scratch again behind your ear. No relief. The walls bear the marks of countless residents. Scratches, gouges, faded symbols carved by those desperate to leave a trace. Some were victorious. Most were not. A faint patch of soot on the ceiling shows where someone tried to smoke the bugs out. It didn't work. A rhetorical question then. Why do the poets never write of lice? Of the endless itch that outlasts the blade? Perhaps because it's hard to rhyme with nits. The climate outside the ludus is little better. The sun will beat down soon. The stone courtyard will bake. The air shimmer with heat. Training will be relentless. But at night, the nights. Cool, almost cold. The kind of cold that makes the stone floor damp and your blanket feel thinner than ever. You've learned not to complain. Complaints earn lashes, or worse. A quick portrait. The old veteran sharpening his dagger this morning. Marcus, they say. Fought 10 seasons. Walks with a limp. Still dangerous. Sleeps sitting up to avoid the worst of the crawling pests. You watch him sometimes. Study the scars on his arms. Each one a story the poets won't tell. And now, the sun climbs. The guard shouts. Training begins soon. And the heat, the blessed, cursed Roman heat, will do its part. But first, water, if you can get to it. And so the day stirs to life. Picture this. The training yard fills with bodies. Men of all shapes, all faiths, all stages of fear. The sun isn't high yet, but already the dust sticks to your skin. Before the drills begin, there's one small mercy, a chance to wash. Brief pause. Bitter water. No privacy. You shuffle toward the cistern. It's a stone basin, wide and low, fed by an aqueduct pipe that trickles water when the gods smile. Today, the gods are indifferent. The water is cloudy. The rim of the basin is worn smooth by countless desperate hands. You cup your palms, splash your face. Cold, bracing, you gasp. Not for refreshment, for survival. Your eyes sting. The water tastes faintly of iron and algae. You swish a mouthful and spit. Better than nothing, barely. Around you, others crowd in, elbows out. No order, no soap. You scrub your face, your arms, your neck. Behind your ear, always behind the ear, you scratch again. A futile gesture. Your tunic is stiff with sweat and dust. You wipe it as best you can with damp hands. It doesn't help much. The stink of the dormitory lingers, clinging to your skin. A question for the philosophers. At what point does a man stop noticing his own stench? You may find out soon enough. Toilets? Now that is an experience. The latrine is a communal affair. A long stone bench with holes open to the air. Beneath it, a channel of running water, usually running, sometimes not. You wait your turn, eyes averted. No walls, no privacy, no shame left. A wooden stick with a sponge sits in a nearby bucket. Communal, of course. You hesitate. But needs must. The sharp smell of ammonia hangs in the air. Flies buzz, bold and fat. You finish quickly. You always finish quickly. Some linger, not for comfort, but to steal a moment of solitude. But today, the Lanista's voice cuts through the yard. No time for lingering. Training waits for no man's dignity. You rinse your hands at the cistern again. Briefly. The water is warmer now, less refreshing, and so, you are as clean as you will be today. Which is to say, not very. Another portrait, a Gaul, broad-shouldered, hair matted, scars across both arms. He hums tunelessly as he washes, unbothered by the filth. Rumor has it he once slew 3 men in a single bout. You believe it, and now the sun climbs higher. The heat thickens, the guards call. Time to fight. But first, time to eat, if you can call it that. Picture this. The clatter of wooden bowls signals the next ritual of the day. You file toward the mess area with the others, a shaded space beneath an awning of patched canvas. The shade offers little relief. The air beneath it is thick, humid with the breath of 50 men. Little food, less joy, no choice. You sit cross-legged on the packed earth. A slave passes with a large wooden tub, ladling a grayish porridge into each bowl. Barley gruel, familiar, bland, slightly sour. Your stomach clenches in anticipation. Hunger will make a feast of anything. The bowl lands in your lap with a slop. No spoon. You use your fingers like everyone else. You scoop a bite. It sticks to your teeth. Chew slowly. Swallow. Repeat. Across from you, a man sneezes. Another coughs wetly. No one comments. Illness is another opponent here, a silent one. Occasionally, if the Lanista feels generous or wants to build morale, there is cheese. Hard, crumbly, sharp with salt. Not today. Today it's porridge. And maybe a strip of dried meat, tough as leather. You chew, chew, chew. The flavor is smoke and salt. You're grateful anyway. The drink? Thin, sour wine, cut with water, served in rough clay cups. You sip cautiously, enough to moisten your throat, no more. A rhetorical question. Does victory taste sweeter after such meals? Perhaps. Or perhaps by then, you no longer notice taste at all. Dishes are communal, no washing between meals. You wipe your bowl with a crust of bread, if there is bread. Today, there is not. The slaves collect the empties. A boy no older than 10 scrubs them with sand and cold water. It does little. The bowls retain the memory of every meal, and so do your fingers. You wipe them on your tunic. The grease adds to the patchwork of stains already there. Another portrait. A wiry Egyptian with a deep scar across his scalp. He eats with precise, almost delicate movements. No wasted motion. They say he was a scribe before he was captured. Now he is a killer in training. Your belly is fuller now. Not full, that is rare, but enough to face the morning's ordeal. The guards shout, the yard awaits, and the first blade will rise soon. Picture this. You stand with the others, the sun now sharp above. A slave tosses a bundle at your feet. Your training tunic. It's coarse linen, sweat stiffened and patched. The color? Once white, now a grimy shade of gray. No armor, no flair, no comfort. You strip down. Modesty is a distant memory here. The guards watch without interest. Another morning, another set of battered bodies. You pull the tunic over your head. It scratches like sandpaper. The neckline is wide, the hem torn unevenly. It barely covers your thighs. The belt, a simple rope, cinches your waist. No sandals today. Barefoot in the yard. Better grip on the sand. Fashion among gladiators is simple. Survive. The finer garments, crested helmets, bronze greaves, ornate manica, are reserved for the arena. There the show matters. Here in the heat and dust its function first. You glance around. Styles vary by role. The retiarius, net fighter, wears less. Tunic belted high, one arm bare. The murmillo dons heavier gear in training, even here. Better to grow strong beneath the weight. You are a thrax, curved sword, small shield. Agile, quick, light armor when the time comes. Your training tunic reeks of old sweat. No surprise, washing is rare, done in cold water with ash soap when soap is available. Often, it isn't. And so the smell follows you like a loyal dog. Another rhetorical question. Can a man smell victory through his own stench? You hope so. Outside the ludus, Roman fashion is a study in contrast. The patricians swan about in spotless togas, cumbersome, impractical, symbolic. The tunic beneath is soft wool, often dyed. The plebs wear simpler garments, plain tunics, sturdy sandals. Linen for the hot days, wool in the cold. Your wardrobe? One training tunic, one rough cloak for cold nights, a spare tunic if fortune smiles, and the arena kit, gleaming, deadly, beautiful. You may not live to wear it. Another portrait, a Thracian youth, lithe and fast. His tunic is patched with red thread. His mother's work, they say. He fingers the stitches before every bout. Superstition? Maybe. Or maybe memory. You adjust your belt. Flex your arms. The lanista strides into the yard. His voice booms. Form up! No time for fashion now. Time to fight. And the sun beats down. Picture this. Dust hangs thick in the midday heat. Your limbs ache from drills, shield work, footwork, endless repetition. But now a rare break. Today, the lanista summons you for a short march. Purpose. To show new recruits the road outside, the world they no longer belong to. Bright sun, hot stones, hard eyes watching. You file out through the heavy gates. Guards flank you, spears ready. Escape is a fool's dream. The street beyond the ludus is alive with sound. Cartwheels creak, donkeys bray, hawkers shout. The smells assault you, fish, garlic, sweat, manure. You blink against the glare. The stones beneath your feet radiate heat. No sandals today. The soles of your feet toughen with each step. A rhetorical question. When does the road stop being a path and start being a weapon? When it blisters your feet, perhaps. Transport in Rome is simple and loud. Heavy carts groan under clay amphorae. Porters stagger beneath bundles. Wealthy citizens glide by in litters borne by slaves. For gladiators, 2 feet, always, unless transported in chains. You march past the bustling market. Stalls brim with dates, olives, flatbread. The scent of roasting meat makes your mouth water. You swallow hard. Coins jingle. A child darts between legs, snatching at purses. Quick as a snake. One of your guards cuffs him. The boy vanishes into the crowd, laughing. Danger comes in all sizes here. A chariot thunders past. Wheels inches from your group. You stumble back. The driver grins, whip flashing. Another reminder. You are beneath notice. You glance upward. Laundry flaps from high balconies. A woman leans out, eyes you with idle curiosity. You look away. The march continues. Your legs burn. The city presses in, stone and sweat and sound. Another portrait. An older Greek, hair braided, skin leathery from sun. He limps slightly. Says he once walked from Athens to Rome in chains. Now he walks still, but free, in his own grim way. At the edge of the forum, the lanista halts you. A speech? No, just a cold look. Remember, out here you are nothing. In there you may be something, if you live. You turn. The march back begins, feet raw, stomach hollow. The gates of the ludus loom. Safety? Hardly, but familiar. And the first danger of the day is behind you, for now. Picture this. You're back within the walls of the ludus, muscles humming from the march. The guards herd you toward the practice yard once more. No rest yet. The day belongs to sweat, endless drills, bitter dust. No escape. But imagine, outside these walls, another Rome hums with labor. A Rome of hands and backs, not blades. Peasants in the fields rise before dawn. Their day begins with the sun and ends with its setting. They swing sickles, plow furrows, tend vines. The earth gives reluctantly. And in this heat, the earth fights back. Cracked soil, stubborn weeds, biting insects. A rhetorical question. Does grain taste sweeter when earned by blood and blister? Likely so. In the city, craftsmen bend to other labors. In smoky workshops, smiths hammer bronze and iron. Sparks fly. The air stinks of sweat and soot. Potters shape clay on spinning wheels. The soft hiss of water. The rhythmic slap of hands. Their creations may end up on the table of a senator or in your meager bowl. Tanners soak hides in vats of urine and lime. The stench clings to them. Even dogs avoid the tanner's quarter. Bakers toil before dawn, the glow of their ovens rivaling the rising sun. The scent of bread wafts through the streets, a cruel tease for the hungry. You swing a wooden sword, again and again, shield high, feet moving, every muscle screaming. Around you, the yard is a storm of motion. Blades clash, sweat drips, voices shout. Training here is brutal, calculated. The lanista knows, those who tire now may die later. Better to collapse here than in the sand of the arena. Another portrait. A North African man broad as an ox, arms like tree trunks. He trains with a two-handed blade, each swing a thunderclap. Once a carpenter, they say. Now he builds nothing but scars. Time blurs, the sun creeps, shadows shift. Your grip falters, recovers, falters again. A final drill, paired combat. You face the Thracian youth again. His eyes burn with desperate energy. You clash, wooden blades cracking. He is fast. You are wary. A dance of survival here in the dust. A shout ends the bout. No victor, no vanquished. Just two more men too tired to fight. And the workday of a gladiator grinds on. Picture this. You slump against the courtyard wall, breath shallow, tunic clinging to your skin. The sun burns overhead. The yard smells of iron, sweat, dust. Rest is fleeting. The wheel turns. The city stirs beyond. While you labor under the lash of the lanista, another world spins beyond these stone walls. The world of those who rule. In the domus of a senator, slaves draw back heavy curtains. Cool air seeps from shaded courtyards. A patrician stirs beneath linen sheets. His day begins. Slowly. He bathes in scented water. Oil is rubbed into his skin. His sandals are strapped with care. A rhetorical question. Does a man's mind sharpen when his body is spared all hardship? The senators seem to think so. In the forum, officials gather, togas pristine, faces grave. They debate taxes, laws, the grain supply. Voices rise and fall in carefully measured tones. Clerks scratch notes on wax tablets. Messengers dart between columns, sandals slapping marble. A noblewoman arranges her day. Visits, correspondence, an audience with her favored poet. Her attendants swarm like bees, unseen yet essential. Merchants whisper of fortunes made and lost. A single deal may span empires. Contracts signed over cups of spiced wine. And beneath it all, the true work of Rome pulses. Politics, favor, appearance. To be seen in the right place, with the right words, before the right eyes. Back in the ludus, none of this matters. Your work is survival. Yet you wonder, when these fine lords watch you fight, do they feel superior? Or secretly grateful it is not their blood staining the sand? Another portrait. An older senator, stooped but sharp-eyed. They say he attends every arena match, watches with cold fascination. His son is said to favor the net fighters, Afternoon shadows stretch. The Lanista's voice cuts the air. Form ranks, practice march. You rise. No sandals still. The stones await. And beyond, the nobles glide in litters, untouched by dust or blade. For now, picture this. You march again, not for show this time, but toward the market. The Lanista needs supplies. A few chosen fighters, including you, are sent to carry them back. The guards flank you, spears ready. Your eyes soak in the colors, the noise. The market is a feast of life and lies. Bright stalls, quick tongues, slow purses. You pass spice merchants. The air tingles with cinnamon, cumin, cardamom. Flavors from lands you may never see. Fabrics flutter in the breeze. Egyptian linen, Tyrian purple silk. A single length could cost a year's rations. You glance, then look away. Fishmongers shout over flopping catch. The stink is sharp, salted by sweat. You wrinkle your nose. Fruit glows on wooden carts. Figs, dates, pomegranates. Too dear for your coinless hands. A rhetorical question. Why does hunger sharpen envy more than appetite? Taxes lurk here as surely as pickpockets. Officials stroll between stalls, tablets in hand. A merchant's glance shifts, wary, calculating. The taxman claims his share in coin or goods. No receipt, no protest. Those who argue may lose more than money. You watch a bearded vendor slip a small pouch beneath his cart as the taxman approaches. A practiced move, a practiced scam. Another scam, false weights. You see a seller press his thumb lightly on the scale. The buyer argues, gestures wildly. The crowd watches, the guards do not. Nearby, a boy offers amphorae of olive oil. Cheap, he claims. Too cheap. The gleam of water shows through the thin neck. Adulterated. Common trick. Your group halts at a grain stall. The Lanista inspects the sacks. His eye is sharp. A bad batch could sour the entire week. You heft 2 sacks onto your shoulder. The rough cloth bites your skin. No complaint, no choice. A portrait. A slender woman in a deep green stola, gold bangles at her wrist. She haggles fiercely with a spice merchant, eyes narrowed. The guards watch her pass. Wealth walks free. You file back through the throng, burdened but silent. The market noise fades behind, and the thin line between hunger and deception fades with it. Picture this. Back within the ludus, you unload your burden. Grain for the kitchens, oil for the lamps. Another day's business done. But tonight, the city pulses with a different energy. A festival, bright lights, louder voices, sharper risks. You are not free to join. Yet the sounds drift over the ludus walls. Laughter, flutes, the pounding rhythm of drums. Spoiler, many will wake poorer tomorrow. Congratulations. You won't. You have no coin to lose. Outside, the streets blaze with torches. Vendors hawk sweets and wine. Children dart through the crowd, sticky-fingered and wild-eyed. In taverns, dice clatter across wooden tables. The sharp slap of bone against wood echoes above the din. A rhetorical question. Is a gambler's hope sharper than a fighter's blade? It cuts both ways. You hear tales from guards, of fortunes won in the span of 3 throws, lost in one. Of nobles wagering slaves, land, even titles. At the arena gates, banners snap in the breeze. Tomorrow's games draw near. Names are whispered, favorites and underdogs alike. The crowd craves blood, but tonight they crave spectacle. Fire eaters, acrobats, painted dancers from the east. Inside the ludus, the mood shifts. Veterans polish weapons, superstition thick in the air. Charms are tied to hilts, prayers muttered beneath breath. Another portrait. A wiry Gaul, eyes like flint. He carves runes into a sliver of bone, says it shields him from death. The others scoff, quietly. You train late. Torchlight flickers across the yard. The Lanista's voice is sharper, the drills harder. Festival or no, the arena waits. And tomorrow, the roar of the crowd will drown even the memory of tonight's revelry. For some, forever. Picture this. The next dawn brings a chill. The air feels heavier, the sky dimmer. The guards wear grim expressions. A man tried to escape last night. He didn't succeed. Cold justice, quick sentence, slower pain. They bring him out at dawn, wrists bound, face bruised. The other fighters gather, silent. No words needed. The lanista addresses the group. Let this remind you, the law reaches even here. A rhetorical question. Is there truly law where power rules, or merely degrees of cruelty? Punishments in Rome are swift. For a slave or fighter, the lash is common. 20 strokes for a first offense. More for escape, sometimes far more. You watch as the man is tied to the whipping post. The lash sings through the air. Flesh tears, blood spatters stone. No one turns away. No one dares. You keep your face still, your stomach knots. Elsewhere in the city, justice wears many faces. For citizens, a trial of sorts. For the poor and powerless, justice is faster, often final. Thieves may lose a hand. Debtors may be shackled. Murderers face the cross. The slow public death of shame. The prisons, stone tombs. Cold, damp, stinking of mold and fear. Few emerge unchanged. Many do not emerge at all. You hear tales from guards, of cells packed so tight men sleep sitting up, of rats bold enough to gnaw living flesh. Another portrait, an ex-legionary turned jailer, thick-necked, slow-moving. He claims he's seen senators beg like children in the Tullianum's black depths. You believe him. For gladiators, the arena itself is sentence and stage. Failure means death. Cowardice means worse. You glance at the man slumped at the post now. Blood streaks his back. His fate unclear. Perhaps the arena will claim him next. The lanista dismisses you. Another day begins. Another shadow added to the morning light. And the cold reach of Roman law lingers in every breath. Picture this. The days blur. Drills, marches, sweat, bruises. But beneath it all, another battle rages unseen. Disease, always lurking, invisible foe, fleeting hope, slow death. Today, a fighter collapses mid-drill. His skin glistens, his breath rattles. The others step back, fast. Fear is a powerful teacher. The lanista summons the physician, a slave himself, though respected. His tools are simple: bronze scalpel, clay pots of herbs, linen strips. A rhetorical question. Does knowledge truly conquer death, or merely delay it? The doctor examines the man with practiced hands. Fever, likely flux, the ever-present threat. You watch as he brews a foul-smelling potion. Wormwood, vinegar, honey, a crude defense against the unseen. Disease moves swiftly in the ludus. Close quarters, shared bowls, endless wounds. A scratch can fester into fever. A cough can silence a dormitory. Superstition blooms where science fails. Charms dangle from necks. Prayers to Apollo, to Asclepius, to any god who might listen. You catch snippets of whispered advice. Wear garlic. Avoid cold water. Never sleep near the door. Another portrait. An old Greek healer, half blind, hands steady as marble. They say he once saved a consul's son and failed to save his own. He hums softly as he works, as if to soothe both patient and fate. You feel every ache more sharply now, a bruise beneath your ribs, a sore throat. Is it the start, or mere exhaustion? The physician moves on. The sick man is carried away, fate uncertain. And the drills resume, no pause, no mercy. The invisible foe waits still, and the wheel of life in Rome grinds on, indifferent. Picture this. Evening falls, casting long shadows across the yard. The air cools, the stones release their stored heat. You sit alone, spine against the wall, muscles humming from the day's trials. No home, no hearth, no kin. Around you, men speak in low voices, fragments of other lives. One whispers of a wife in Gaul, another of a son too young to remember him. Some speak of no one at all. A rhetorical question. Does the memory of family strengthen a fighter's hand or weaken it? In Rome, family is the bedrock of society. For the freeborn, marriage is a contract, property, lineage, alliance. Love is secondary, sometimes absent entirely. Weddings are grand for the wealthy. Garlands, feasts, public vows. For the poor, simpler rites, a shared hearth, a witness or two. Children arrive soon after, if the gods allow. Their upbringing is strict. Boys are hardened early, taught duty, honor, obedience. Girls are groomed for marriage, their worth measured in dowry and decorum. In the forum, tutors drill young minds in rhetoric and law. At home, fathers drill young backs with the rod. Another portrait, a merchant's daughter glimpsed through the market throng, eyes downcast, lips pressed tight. She clutches a scroll of poetry, a rare indulgence. Her future already mapped in dowry ledgers. For slaves and fighters, family is a distant shore. Some carve names into stone, whispering them at dawn. Others sever ties to survive. You remember faces, a mother's hands, a brother's grin. Fading now, like worn frescoes. In the ludus, camaraderie forms thin bonds, but blood ties. They belong to another life. The stars prick the sky. Somewhere beyond the walls, children laugh, couples quarrel. Life unfolds in patterns you may never touch again. And in the yard, silence settles. You pull your cloak tighter, and sleep steals closer. Picture this: dawn again. Another day you did not expect to see. Your body aches, but you move. Always move. Simple tasks, simple tools, endless labor. Today brings a rare duty, kitchen work. Supplies are low, and the lanista spares no coin for more slaves. You and a few others are chosen to assist. A rhetorical question: can a man swing a blade and stir a pot with equal grace? You are about to learn. The ludus kitchen is a stone chamber, warm even at dawn. Smoke coils through a cracked flue. The hearth glows faintly. Iron pots line the wall. Wooden spoons, dull knives, rough bowls. No luxury here. A slave woman, gray-haired and sharp-eyed, barks orders. You obey. Quickly. Grain first. You grind barley with a worn quernstone. Muscles strain. The rhythm is hypnotic. Turn, turn, turn. Dust coats your arms. Next, water. You fetch it from the cistern, heavy jug biting your palms. Cold at first, warming fast. You stir the thin porridge. The scent is faint. Grain, smoke, a hint of sour. Nearby, dried beans soak in a clay pot. Later they will be boiled, salted if fortune smiles. Oil is precious, used sparingly. You watch as a single splash is stirred into the pot. Rich Romans drizzle it freely. Here it is treasure. Another portrait. A young cook's apprentice, mute from birth. His hands speak volumes, quick, precise, efficient. The old cook trusts him with the knife. That says much. You help knead flatbread, barley and water, little else. The dough sticks to your fingers. The smell, as it bakes on hot stones, stirs an ancient hunger. Housekeeping here is constant battle. Dust settles faster than hands can wipe. Mice claim corners before brooms arrive. Lice, ever present. Blankets are beaten, not cleansed. You itch still, always itch. At midday, the meal is served. You carry bowls to the yard. Rough fare, but food. Eyes brighten, if briefly. You eat last. The porridge is thicker now, the bread hot in your hands. You chew slowly, savoring what you can. The cook nods at your effort. A rare gesture. You nod back. And the wheel of life within these walls grinds on. Grain to dust, to meal to hunger again. Picture this. Evening falls like a velvet cloak. The sky deepens. Stars prick through the fading blue. The heat of the day lingers in the stones beneath your feet. The lanista grants a small mercy. A few hours leave beyond the walls. Not for freedom, for coin. Fighters draw crowds even off the sands. Dim lights, thick air, thicker lies. You and a handful of others move through the city's veins. Guards shadow you, spears in hand. A clear message, no foolishness. The streets hum with life. Torches flicker. Shadows dance on whitewashed walls. Taverns beckon, dark doorways, bright noise within. The smell of wine and sweat wafts out. Laughter, sharp and raw, slices the night. A rhetorical question. Does a man drink to remember or to forget? You suspect both, in equal measure. You duck into a low-ceilinged tavern. The room is thick with bodies. Clay lamps cast pools of oily light. You take a place against the wall. A server slaps down a jug of thin wine and chipped cups. No ceremony here. Around you, men gamble with knuckle bones. Coins clink, curses fly. A bard strums a battered lyre, voice lost in the din. At the next table, a merchant boasts of profits. At another, a legionary leans close to a weary courtesan. Deals and desires tangle in every glance. Another portrait. An old matron, skin like worn leather, eyes sharp as glass. She watches the room from her corner, counting every coin, hearing every word. In this place, knowledge is worth more than gold. You sip the wine, sour, thin, but it warms your throat. You listen, you watch, always watch. Outside, the city shifts. Lanterns sway, shutters close, thieves stir. In alleyways, shadows move with purpose. Not all find the dawn. Your guard calls time. You rise, joints stiff. The tavern's warmth clings as you step back into the cool breath of night. The road home winds through silent streets. A dog barks, a shutter bangs, and the gate of the ludus swallows you once more. The stars wheel above. Sleep waits, and tomorrow the wheel turns again. Picture this. Another gray dawn, another day survived. The arena looms closer with each sunrise. You feel it in your bones. Today, between drills, you find a rare chance to sit with Marcus, the scarred veteran. 10 seasons, countless scars, still breathing. He sharpens his blade with slow, steady strokes. His voice is gravel, worn but sure. Few words, hard lessons, earned wisdom. You listen. You would be a fool not to. Stay light on your feet, he taps his boot. The dead ones plant them too soon. Watch the eyes, not the blade. He grins, a hard, cold grin. Steel lies, eyes don't. No one cares why you fight, only that you fight well. A rhetorical question. Is surviving enough, or must one seek more? In this place, survival is the prize. Anything beyond is luxury. Marcus speaks of training. Don't show fear, it feeds your foes. Don't trust the guards, or the crowd, or the lanista. Trust only steel, and your own 2 feet of health. Drink every chance you get, clean if you can. Scratch too much and you'll bleed. Bleed too much and you'll rot. Of luck. A charm won't save you, but if it steadies your hand, wear it. Another portrait. A bent old slave who tends the torches. Silent, near invisible. But when men fall sick, he knows first. Wisdom wears many faces here. Marcus's last words before the horn calls you back. Die on your feet, boy. It's all the choice you'll get. You rise. The yard beckons. Steel sings. Sweat drips. And Marcus watches from the shadows. Still alive. Still teaching. You carry his words with you, heavier than any blade. The sun climbs, the wheel turns, and you move lighter than before. Picture this. The yard lies still, no shouts, no clang of wood on bronze, just the whisper of night through stone corridors. You lie on your pallet. Straw prickles through the thin blanket. The ceiling beams loom above, heavy with shadows. Cool air, slow breath. Racing thoughts. Your body hums with exhaustion. Bruises throb in a silent rhythm. Yet sleep hovers just beyond reach. A rhetorical question. Does a fighter dream of freedom, or simply rest? Tonight, you wonder. Around you, men shift in restless sleep. Snores, sighs, the occasional muttered word. In this place, dreams are fragile things. Your mind drifts to home, a place fading in memory, to faces long unseen, to words unspoken. The stars beyond the window wheel in their slow dance, indifferent to the lives beneath them. You recall Marcus's voice. Die on your feet. But in the quiet, another thought stirs. Live while you stand. Another portrait. A young recruit across the room, eyes wide open, staring at nothing. First season. First fears. You remember that look. You wore it once. Footsteps echo faintly in the corridor. A guard on his rounds, the clink of mail, the soft scrape of sandals. You close your eyes. The night presses close, cool and weightless. Thoughts slow, breath deepens. The world fades to dark and stars. And in that fragile space between wake and dream, one truth lingers. Tomorrow waits. The wheel turns. You turn with it. For now, sleep while you can. Picture this. The faintest light seeps into the dormitory. Not full dawn, just a pale whisper along the beams. You stir beneath the rough blanket. Limbs heavy, mind slow. The air is cool, still damp with the breath of many men. But for a moment, just this moment, there is peace. No shouts, no drills, no fear, just breath. You hear it, the soft rustle of straw, the faint exhale of sleep, the city's heartbeat slowed to a sigh. A rhetorical question. How much of life is made of moments like this? Small, unnoticed, precious. The day will come, the wheel will turn, the sword will rise again. But not yet. You remain still. The blanket is rough but warm. The stone beneath your pallet cold, but familiar. You breathe, in, out. The bruises ache less in this hush. The hunger dulls. And for now, your world is this. Breath and shadow, the faint promise of light. Another portrait. A nameless elder among the guards. His gaze is weary but kind. He watches the sleepers with a ghost of something softer than duty. Perhaps mercy. Outside, the city stirs. Faint cartwheels on stone, a cockerel too eager, the first shout of a market stall. Inside, the fighters dream of freedom, of battle, of lives long past. And you? You drift, caught between wake and rest, between steel and stars. No need to move yet. No need to fear. You have survived this night. Tomorrow waits beyond the walls. But tonight is yours. So breathe, sink deeper. Let the weight of the world slip away. You've earned this rest. And as the first true light brushes the window, one last thought settles. Good night. Sleep well, fighter. Sleep well.